You have been lying to yourself about cardio, and that lie is costing you hours every single week. 45 minutes on a treadmill, sweating, exhausted, checking the clock every 90 seconds, hoping it finally means something. But what if more cardio was never actually the answer you were looking for? What if the real problem wasn't your effort, but the way you were spending that effort? Today, we are breaking down 5 cardio methods that completely change what working hard actually means. These are not about running faster or suffering longer just to feel like you earned dinner. They're about making every single minute of movement count for something real. And stick around for the 5th one, especially if you already hate high-intensity intervals, because you can absolutely improve your results without turning every workout into a gasping, desperate sprint session. Let's start with the method that barely feels like cardio at all, even though it destroys fat. It's called density training, and once you understand it, treadmills will feel painfully outdated and slow. The idea is simple. Instead of repeating one boring movement for 30 straight minutes, you combine several exercises together. But here is the rule almost everyone breaks without even realizing it. Never choose exercises that all hammer the exact same muscle group in a row. Squats, lunges, and jump squats sound brutal, but your legs will burn out fast. Once your legs give up, you slow down, rest longer, and the whole workout quality collapses. Instead, pick 3 or 4 moves that spread the work across different muscles entirely. At the gym, that might mean squats for legs, rows for your back, and presses for shoulders. At home, try walking lunges, push-ups, and sprawls to hit your whole body evenly. Here's where it actually gets interesting, and where most people finally start seeing progress. Set a timer for 5 minutes, choose around 10 reps per exercise to start. Move from the first exercise straight into the second with almost 0 wasted rest. Finish all 3 or 4, then immediately start the entire circuit again from scratch. Your goal isn't to collapse in the first 60 seconds like a maniac. Your goal is stacking as many clean, controlled rounds as your body allows. This gives you something a stopwatch alone could never actually give you, real proof of progress. Maybe your first attempt gets you 3 full rounds with decent form. Next session, you hit 3.5, then eventually a clean 4 rounds. That's not just cardio anymore. That's measurable, trackable, undeniable improvement session after session. If you're using weights, don't start so heavy you're gasping after every rep. Lower the load as fatigue builds so the circuit keeps flowing smoothly and safely. After one 5-minute round, rest properly before starting a fresh circuit with new exercises. And remember, more rounds only count if your form stays sharp and controlled. Now, maybe planning 3 or 4 exercises every single time sounds exhausting to organize. That's exactly why the next method exists, and it takes almost 0 planning at all. All you need is 1 single movement, 2 intensity levels, and a timer. This is called the 30/30 drill, and it sounds almost too simple to work. 30 seconds pushed hard, followed by 30 seconds at a much easier pace. Repeat that pattern for as long as your session calls for that day. On a treadmill, sprint hard for 30 seconds, then drop into a relaxed jog. The word that actually matters here is relative, not maximum, not exhausting, just relative to you. High intensity for a beginner might simply mean a fast walk, nothing more dramatic. As your fitness improves week after week, you naturally push that intensity a little higher. If you're struggling to keep good form, don't force it. Add a slower recovery round. Catch your breath fully, then return to the 30-second push and pull pattern. Beginners might start with just 5 or 6 minutes and build up gradually from there. Eventually, you can work your way toward a full 15 minutes using this exact structure. And this isn't locked to a treadmill. You can use it almost anywhere you train. Try it on a bike, a rowing machine, an elliptical, or even a punching bag. With boxing, throw fast, controlled combinations for 30 seconds, then slow down and focus on technique. The timer never changes, but the exercise underneath it can change constantly to match your mood. Now here's a question that might completely shift how you think about intensity forever. What if you never had to run faster again to make cardio genuinely harder? There's a completely different way to increase difficulty without touching your speed at all. Instead of moving faster, you simply change the angle you're moving against. Welcome to incline training, one of the most underrated tools most people ignore completely.
Think about walking on a flat sidewalk compared to walking straight up a steep hill. Same pace, wildly different difficulty. And that difference is exactly what we're using here. On a treadmill, start walking at a pace you can fully control with ease, then slowly raise the incline until your legs genuinely start to feel the burn. As that incline rises, your glutes, quads, and calves work significantly harder than before. If running has never felt good for your joints, incline walking becomes a genuinely powerful alternative. You don't need a treadmill either. A real hill outside works just as well. A stair climber or any resistance-based machine can absolutely deliver the exact same effect. But here's a mistake that shows up constantly, and it quietly ruins the entire benefit. Someone cranks the incline sky high, then clings to the handrails for dear life. If you're pulling yourself up with your arms, that incline is simply too aggressive right now. Lower it slightly until you can walk with a strong, controlled, upright posture instead. If steady incline walking feels too demanding, turn it into intervals just like before. 30 seconds at a higher incline, 30 seconds lower, repeating that pattern throughout your session. As you improve, gradually raise the incline, the duration, or your walking pace slightly. Now we're about to combine two completely different training worlds into one single powerful tool. This next method doesn't just challenge your heart, it builds real strength simultaneously too. And you only need one simple piece of equipment sitting quietly in the corner. That's right, we're talking about the kettlebell, one of the most misunderstood tools in fitness. Method 4 blends cardio and resistance training together instead of keeping them separate exercises. Rather than repeating one motion endlessly, you challenge multiple muscle groups while your heart rate stays elevated. Take the kettlebell swing, one of the most powerful movements you'll ever learn properly. Instead of lifting with your arms, the entire movement should be driven from your hips. Push your hips back, keep your torso strong and stable, then explode your hips forward. Your glutes and hamstrings absorb most of the work, while your core keeps everything stable. From there, move into goblet squats, shifting the emphasis toward your quads and glutes instead. Add a pressing movement next, and suddenly your shoulders and triceps join the party too. String swings, squats, and presses together, and you've built a demanding full-body circuit. But here's a mistake that quietly turns a powerful swing into a wasted, weaker movement. Don't turn the kettlebell swing into a squat followed by a lazy arm raise. The power must come from your hips, not from muscling the weight upward manually. And stop obsessing over exact calorie numbers some app or article promised you confidently. Real energy expenditure depends on your body, the weight used, and how hard you actually work.
You can stretch this into a longer session or compress it into a short, intense circuit. But what if none of this still sounds appealing to you, even a little bit? What if you genuinely hate intervals, explosive movement, and gasping for air style training completely? Here's something that might genuinely surprise you, and honestly, it should feel like relief. You do not have to turn every single session into brutal, high-intensity intervals. Method 5 is specifically for people who simply do not enjoy that intense style at all. You can keep your slower, steady cardio and simply make it more intentional instead. One option is moving your cardio outside instead of always staying on a machine. Outdoor routes naturally introduce hills, uneven terrain, and shifting pace without forcing a rigid structure. If you prefer staying indoors, apply the same incline principle we already covered earlier. You don't need to run faster. A brisk incline walk can be genuinely challenging enough. Another option is choosing cardio that actually involves more of your entire body at once. Rowing, boxing, stair climbing, or the elliptical machine can all work depending on your preference. But the elliptical hides a mistake almost everyone makes without realizing it's happening. People set resistance extremely low and move their legs as fast as physically possible. It looks intense on the outside, but most of that motion comes from pure momentum. Instead, raise the resistance until you're actually producing real force with every single stride. Remember this clearly. Moving faster does not automatically mean you're actually working harder underneath. And please stop searching for the one perfect machine that will magically transform everything. A treadmill might work beautifully for one person and terribly for someone else entirely.
What actually matters is intensity you can sustain safely, your recovery, and genuine long-term consistency. So now you have all 5 complete methods sitting right in front of you. But there's still one important question we genuinely haven't answered together just yet. Which method should you actually choose to start with this week, right now? Because trying to combine all 5 immediately will likely create an entirely new problem instead. The answer depends less on difficulty and more on what you can realistically repeat consistently. Don't make the mistake of cramming every single method into tomorrow's workout session. The best method isn't automatically the hardest one or the most exhausting one available. It's the one that fits your goals, your schedule, and your actual current fitness level. If you're short on time and enjoy mixing strength with conditioning, start with density sets. If you love clear structure and simplicity, the 30/30 drill is perfect. If running fast has never appealed to you, incline training might be your answer. If you want strength and cardio combined efficiently, kettlebell training checks both boxes at once. And if you genuinely hate high-intensity intervals, keep your steady-state cardio exactly as is. Just make it more purposeful using incline, resistance, terrain, or focused controlled effort instead. Here's the actual key most people completely overlook in their search for the perfect method. You don't need the perfect cardio method, you need one you'll genuinely keep doing. Start with just one, give your body real time to properly adapt first. Then progress gradually by increasing duration, resistance, incline, or overall training density over time. Because the goal was never winning one brutal, unsustainable workout that leaves you broken. The real goal is building a routine you can recover from and repeat consistently. But before you rush off to choose your method, there's one final thing you need. You could optimize every single method on this list and still not lose fat. Why exactly would that happen after doing everything seemingly right and consistent?
Because there's one mistake powerful enough to quietly undo almost everything you just learned. That mistake is trying to out-cardio a diet that simply isn't supporting your actual goal. Picture finishing a brutal workout, soaked in sweat, heart pounding, feeling like you earned anything. That feeling right there is exactly where the entire problem quietly begins to form. Cardio increases energy expenditure and genuinely helps create conditions that support real fat loss, but it never automatically guarantees you're actually in a true calorie deficit overall. If you consistently eat more than your body genuinely needs, extra cardio won't fix that. And this creates an exhausting, frustrating cycle so many people find themselves trapped inside. No progress shows up, so you add another session, then another still. You train harder, feel hungrier, grow more fatigued, and your waistline still refuses to change. More cardio was never actually the missing piece in that entire frustrating equation. Instead, think of fat loss as one complete interconnected system working together, not separately. Nutrition determines your energy intake, your side of the equation that quietly controls everything. Workouts contribute to energy expenditure and overall fitness, but they're only one single piece. Daily movement adds activity outside the gym that most people completely underestimate and ignore. Recovery is what actually allows you to keep training consistently without burning out completely. Put all of those pieces together, and cardio becomes one tool inside a larger system. Don't finish one intense interval workout and assume that erases everything you eat afterward. At the same time, don't punish yourself either. Build something you can genuinely sustain long-term. Choose one of the 5 methods we covered together throughout this entire video. Pair it with a nutrition strategy that actually supports your specific goal properly. Keep daily activity consistent and track real progress over weeks, not single individual workouts. Because if fat loss is genuinely your goal, burning yourself out faster isn't the smartest strategy. The smartest strategy is creating a routine you can repeat long enough to see change. Let's quickly bring every single method together so you know exactly where to begin. Method 1, density sets. Combine different muscle groups into short, timed, repeatable circuits consistently. Method 2, 30/30. Alternate high and moderate intensity using nothing but a timer. Method 3, incline training. Raise the angle instead of constantly chasing more speed forever. Method 4, kettlebell cardio. Combine swings, squats, and presses for full body conditioning together. Method 5. Upgrade your steady-state cardio using incline, resistance, terrain, or focused effort. Don't try to squeeze all 5 into tomorrow's single workout session. That's a mistake. Choose just one method that matches your schedule, equipment, and current fitness level honestly. Give yourself real time to adapt before increasing difficulty, duration, or overall training intensity. Track more than just how sweaty you get after each individual workout session. Watch your waist measurement, energy levels, recovery, and cardio performance over several consistent weeks. Remember, cardio is only one piece of a much larger fat loss equation entirely. Nutrition, daily movement, resistance training, sleep, and consistency all matter just as much. If your belly fat still isn't changing despite doing cardio several times weekly, listen closely. Adding another cardio session probably isn't the real solution you actually need right now. The real problem likely lives in what happens after your workout ends completely. It lives in the other 23 hours of your day you rarely think about. That's exactly the conversation worth having next, because the answer was never more cardio.